the Snap Society. I'm Jamie Larson, and today we have Michelle Gifford with us. Thank you so much for joining us on the Snap Society today.
Hey, so glad to be here.
Great. So today, well, let's just talk about Michelle first. Let's talk about you. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Michelle. She is from Utah, but she lives in Southern California now. She is a primarily senior photographer. She's got 4 kiddos. And the really cool thing about Michelle is she has started something amazing called Beauty Revived. And it's one of those things where you hear about it and you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So I'm so excited to be a part of this journey of Beauty Revived. And we'll tell you all about that a little later, so stay tuned. But first, we're going to just be talking about the senior photography business. And Michelle is going to tell us a couple tips and tricks about getting to know your senior client if you don't have the time to meet up with them, you know, at Starbucks or getting together with them multiple times because you've got a busy family life. So let's talk about that, Michelle.
Okay, great. So I have, like you said, I have 4 kids under 7 years old. So I like getting out of the house to do a shoot is, you know, that's a stretch. So I tried to get my flow down that I could get to know these seniors without having to like meet them up front. And you know what? It's great. We live in a digital age, right? So
take advantage of that.
Right. And you know, girls want to talk to you on their phones and whatever. So it's great. So the first thing that I make sure I do to get to know my girls is I ask the right questions. Okay. And so I send out a senior questionnaire after they book with me, so I can get, and I know a lot of photographers do that, but there's 3 questions that I use and to make sure that I really know them and know what they want. And the first question that I ask them is to describe their dream session in 3 words.
Okay.
So my background is public relations and marketing, and so we always were told that like when you're branding something, you know, think of the top 3 words. I know Jasmine Starr started talking about that. Like, what are your 3 words? And so I've had my girls, they always, they break their dream session down into 3 words. And I'm able to, so if they they want like an ethereal, fun, and happy session, that changes everything that I do and plan about their session. And it's very descriptive. It helps me get to know them and what's important to them.
I love that.
So the second question I ask is, how would your best friends describe you?
Oh, that's a great
one. And I think this is good because it kind of reveals the perception of their perception, if that makes sense. You know, like it's like, what do you think your friends think about you? And it's always positive. You know, they don't have to talk about themselves about how they think they are, but they're able to talk about how their friends see them.
That's great.
The third question I ask, and it has nothing to do with with the actual session, but I always ask them what their favorite candy is. Because I do a goodie bag for everyone, and it's all the same, except I make sure that there's something personal and special in their.
Oh, I love that.
Because I just think that, you know, it's easy to think that, oh, you know, she did that for everyone. Yeah. But to know that I went to the store and I got something just for her, it makes a huge difference.
Okay, so will you reveal to us what is in your goodie bag?
Yes.
Can you please send one to me?
Yeah, it's yours. You're in it. Tell me your favorite candy, and it will be. I make sure that I have water. Is that quite dumb? Anyway, water, and then I also have lip gloss and nail polish and gum and treats. Maybe I like food. I don't know.
No, everybody likes food, I think.
And I also, if I am on top of it, I will text the girl and ask what their mom's favorite candy is, so that mom has something too.
Nice.
Because, right, mom's in there with you the whole time.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, so I just try to make it personal so that they know that I really care about who they are and so.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Okay, so these questions that you're asking them, are you doing this via email, via text? If you are doing it via email, do you make a Survey Monkey, or do you just, write an email?
Yeah, I have I use MailChimp, and I just have it on my website as a page. So I just send them to my page, and they can just fill it out, and it's sent to me. And then I have their email address. If I have follow-up questions, I email them, and I, email them. Like a girl I'm doing a shoot for on Saturday loves Disney and Disneyland. I live in Southern California. Yeah. Who doesn't love Disney? But and so like I had follow-up questions like, who's your favorite Disney princess? And so we're gonna kind of do a couple different themes of, she loves Jane and Tarzan and Jane, Oh, cool. And so we're gonna do, we're gonna use that kind of as a theme. Mm-hmm. There will be no loincloths, but we're going to try to do a Jane theme. Yeah, because that's what she loves, and anyway, so we do a lot of emailing, yeah, for sure.
And I think that is so great, because not only are you getting to know them, but you're taking interest in them, and so they feel special and unique, and so that's just awesome. Okay, so what is another way that you get to know your client?
I have them make a Pinterest board, and I know that this is not new. This is not new news to have them make a Pinterest board, but I have them limit their Pinterest board to 10 to 12 pins. They can pin anything. Quotes, colors, senior pictures, hair, makeup, whatever. But I keep it to 10 to 12 pins because I found that if you give them free reign, mm-hmm. then it gets really muddy. Yeah. That makes sense? Yep. Like it's hard to get to the specifics of what they like. And so maybe when they had a lot, they'd pin like 5 different makeups. Yep. And that doesn't help me. and it doesn't help me create the session that they want. And so when I limited it to that, they have to, it requires them to take the time to really think about their pins, and if this is descriptive enough to say what they want to say. Okay, I love that idea, because I'm eclectic. And so if you looked at a Pinterest board that I were going to send you, it'd be all over the place, especially if I could do unlimited pins. So I love that you hone it down to this certain amount, and then they really have to pick their very, very favorite things. So that's great, okay? Yeah, so number 3 is the third thing I do to get to know my seniors is I text a lot. So I think that it's really important to just give your number out there mm-hmm. to all of these people. Like, because before my session, that better not be their first impression of me, right? Right. Like, and they better kind of know my personality a little bit, and that's kind of hard in email. And girls always have their phones, right? So you can text them, and it's almost immediate response. And I just think that it's important that when you're texting to make sure that you're showing your personality a little bit. Now, don't be the mom texter. Like, where are you? Yeah. I don't know. What are you? So I know exactly. So we are always texting their pictures of what they're wearing to make sure that it's going to look good on camera, And so they always text back and forth. And another tip is to make sure that they're keeping mom in the loop. Yes. If you're emailing, make sure that their mom is included in the email so that you don't show up and the mom's shocked yes. at what's happening. And so, so number 3, I would say definitely texting, and make sure that, that's what girls are doing now. So just make sure you're communicating the way that they need to be communicated with. Okay, I love that. And I just thought of one more tip, adding to the tips. I was thinking, talking about, this being a digital age, and texting to a generation above us feels a little bit impersonal because they're so used to using the phone or whatever. And so I can understand that. But also, sometimes people just want to see you face to face, and you just can't. And so with my senior girls, last week, actually, we did a Google Hangout. And all 4 of them were together, and they were showing me their room, and I was getting sick with all the motion going on, and I had to take a Dramamine. But that's also a really great way that if you do want to get together, see them face to face at some point, that you could always schedule a Google Hangout where it can be in the comfort of your own home at whatever time, when your kids go to bed. That's when I did it. So yeah, that's another option. But I love the tips that you gave, especially giving out your number,
even, you know, in the forefront and just getting that relationship going through text. That's awesome.
And you know what? I actually have another tip.
Okay, let's see.
And that, are you ready? Okay.
Ready.
The game changer for me with senior photography, I'm new in Southern California. I lived in Arizona for 7 years. And then I moved here and I was like, how am I going to break in to senior photography? And I tried for 3 months and it wasn't great. It wasn't great. And then the game changer for me is when I started to think, how can I help my seniors? I just changed my thought process to, instead of being like, how am I going to get them to like me? How am I going to get them to choose me?
Right.
But rather, how can I get into their schools and help them and bring out the good in them?
Okay.
And so if you change your perspective and change your attitude towards seniors, then it's going to change everything. It's going to change your business. It's going to change how you treat them and how you interact with them, because it's suddenly not a sale, and it's not how much money you're going to bring in, but it's more about helping these girls develop into who they need to be. Yeah. So, and that's how Beauty Revive started. Do you want to talk about Beauty Revive?
I want to talk about Beauty Revive. Okay, so tell us, break it down. What is Beauty Revived?
All right, Beauty Revived is a site dedicated to telling the stories of beautiful, beautiful women, like truly beautiful women with truly beautiful stories. So these women can be any age, any place, whatever, and it's photographers are donating sessions to the beautiful women in their communities, and then submitting their stories to Beauty Revived. And beautyrevived.com features the stories every day. There's a photographer featured and a story told of a woman who is making a difference in the world just by being who they are and by doing good.
I love that. Okay, so that sort of morphed into the campaign that's going on right now. Talk about this campaign.
The campaign right now is America's 50 Most Beautiful Senior Girls. And Beauty Revive started 6 months ago when I don't know, have you seen all of the like Facebook videos? I mean, they're on Facebook about like Dove did like what true beauty is and all that. And I love them, right? We love them.
Yes, we do.
So I was watching them, and you know, I watch them, I feel good, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I don't do anything. There's no change. And so one day I woke up and I was like, I'm going to stop watching and start doing. I was like, I have a camera. I can do something. So I just see that the media is doing a negative spin on what real beauty is. And I'm like, you know, then one day I realized I have a camera. I'm part of the media. I get to choose what I portray. And so I started in my local school. I did a Beauty Revive campaign where students were able to nominate girls for a free session, and the requirement was that they tell me why the girls nominated were truly beautiful, like why they deserved a free session. So I did this in the local school, and I did a session, and then afterwards I did a Beauty Revive night where I had someone make a video and they talked about what true beauty is, and then they invited their friends and their family, and we watched the video and saw the pictures. And then I just kind of talked to them about why they were nominated. And do you know why they were nominated? It wasn't because they dressed great every day and their hair was perfect and, you know, they're looking their best, but it was most of them were nominated because of their service to others, how they made other people feel, when they extended themselves and were doing things to help others. Like that's why. And when I told them why they were nominated, there was a physical change in them. And I just, after that night, I knew that it couldn't stop there. It couldn't. So we created beautyrevive.com, and I started with we've been doing a couple campaigns. So the campaign going on right now is we've joined with 50 of America's best senior photographers, and they're from all over the country. and they are looking for 50 of America's most beautiful senior girls. And they're doing it in different ways. Some are having a nomination process like I did, and others are just choosing girls that they know in their community that are making a difference. Yeah. Some really great things have come from this. I've been joined with Senior Style Guide, and they are going to make their February magazine issue is going to be a complete Beauty Revived issue.
So awesome.
I can't even believe it.
Make sure to check out the February issue of Senior Style Guide. Really, every issue.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yes. Yes. So, okay, so right now people can't jump on the Senior Revive band. Like, they can't do that. They could do it. You just won't be one of the, be a part of this campaign where it's featured in the magazine, but you could still do this sort of thing within your school. And you can do the Beauty Revived, where you do a free session with somebody who you believe is truly beautiful on the inside. You do a free session for them, you take pictures of them, and then you write up a little thing about why they're beautiful, and then they submit it to Beauty Revived. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And anyone can do it. You can, it doesn't matter your level. I mean, we do, I would love everyone to do a Beauty Revive session and work to be featured on beautyrevive.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, what were the results of this first time of you doing the Senior Revived in the school? What was the result of that, besides the personal result of the girl?
When I started out in Southern California, it was a year ago, and no one knew me, and I didn't have any clients, and it just wasn't great. And so when I did Beauty Revived, I was able to get connected with some of the student council there and work with some of the teachers. And after Beauty Revived, I had so many people come up to me, seniors or students at my high school, and tell me that they knew me. I was being recognized. And they, and then I had one of my seniors that I'd taken pictures of just told me that, she's like, you know what, you have the best reputation at the high school.
Oh.
And it all came from putting the girls first, right? Like, and helping in my small way to change the conversation, you know, to change it about who these girls really are and to bring that to the forefront.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how did you connect with the student council or administration at the school, especially if you didn't know them? And for those people who are listening, they're like, oh, but I can't do that because I really don't know people at the school. What would you say to them?
Do you know a senior? Because that's how I got my connections. Is one of my, I had a senior rep, and she knew friends in the student council. And so I was going through the student council, and you know what, the student council advisor was really hard to get a hold of. And so I did a lot of it through the student council without it being necessarily official, okay, if that makes sense. Yep. So they were spreading the word for me, okay, through Instagram and things like that. But it's, right now I'm doing my Beauty Revive session, nomination in the schools again. Okay. Right now for the America's 50, and one of my seniors is on student council, and so they have morning announcements, and so she's just going to announce it in the morning announcement.
Can do that. They have the freedom, like they can.
It depends on the advisor,
okay,
but where this is a complete, I mean, like I'm not getting money from it, you know, it's not, I'm not advertising, so I don't think you can advertise, but this is a way that you can get into the high schools this way. And I know that there's a couple other photographers who have gotten in with the student council just because either they know someone who's a teacher or they know someone who knows the teachers. I think that we are a lot more connected than we think, mm-hmm, either through church or through like you probably know someone who has a high schooler. Okay,
yeah, right, exactly. You know, or your babysitter. And so now, would you get a hold of them through the phone? Did you go to the school and try to talk to them in person? How did that work for you?
I tried doing it through email, and I didn't get much success because the advisors are too busy.
Okay.
And so if you can get a personal phone number, that's great.
Okay.
And you can do that by calling the office.
Okay. Who would have thought?
I think we put a lot of limitations on ourselves because we don't want to pick up the phone and be told no.
Yeah.
But
I know,
who cares?
I'm just going to admit something here. I'm very outgoing. But the one thing that my husband still, after 13 years of marriage, still does not understand about me is that I hate cold calling. Like, I hate calling somebody even if I met them in person and they gave me their number, like, I will not probably be the first one to call. They will call me first. You know, it's the weirdest thing. So I would actually be more inclined to go to the school probably and talk to somebody in person than call them. But did you have success calling them?
Yeah, you can get numbers, but if you will go to the school, that's way better. But part of it is maybe calling first and getting an appointment because it's hard to show up and you don't want to catch these teachers off guard.
Right, right.
So,
tell me your pitch because you are a PR person, so let's take advantage of that right now. Tell me your pitch. How you pitch this. So I want to get into the schools. And by the way, this is a great thing. What I'm hearing here is that this is mutually beneficial. It's benefiting the senior, it's benefiting the school, and it's benefiting you as a photographer. So who wouldn't want to take advantage of this? This is not something that you're going to school and you're pitching an idea of a way that you can get your name out there. It's not straight up that, but it sort of is that. But you're really getting this whole idea out there of the concept of bringing true beauty out because these kids are inundated with things that are really not true beauty. And so it's so cool because there's this mutual benefit of, you know, I'm getting my name out there. I'm getting to, you know, talk to these people who make decisions for the school and things like that. But at the same time, I'm doing a good thing. I'm benefiting them and I'm benefiting the senior. So all around this is good. So tell me, what would be your pitch?
Okay, so first, I just want the first rule of PR is you have to think what's in it for them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't talk about you.
Yes.
But I would say, you know, introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm part of a national campaign to change the way seniors look at beauty. And I want to give away a free session to your seniors and the ones who are outstanding, who are good examples and are doing good. They don't get credit. They're not getting credit right now. And I want to highlight the good and shine light on the wonderful girls that are in your school. You don't have to do anything. Put that in there. Because that's the thing. You don't want to add anything to them.
Yes.
You just want their okay and just a little bit of a plug.
Yes.
Right? You just want them to say it.
Well, you need their approval, basically. If it's going to be in their school, you need their approval. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's, so keep what's in it for them. Mm-hmm. So you have to say who you are, what's in it for them, and then you need to make sure you tell them that it's not going to cause any extra work for them. Okay. That's the key to the pitch.
And you know, this is so great because a lot of times we try to get in with a school or a business, and the whole point is, and I've known this, that it has to be how is it benefiting the other person, not how it's benefiting you. And sometimes it's really hard to think of something, like think of a way to benefit, you know, the other person. This is a perfect, you know, perfect recipe for that because, you know, personally as a photographer, I want to do good. I want my photography to be meaningful and to be more than just taking pictures, you know. So this is a great way as a photographer that I can use my giftedness for, you know, something positive. But it's also a great way to get in to these schools and really highlight the people who are doing well, because the people who make it in the news are typically the teenagers who are not doing good, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Oh, I love this, Michelle. Okay, so do you have any other tips for us or things that you want to share about Beauty Revived, Senior Revived, Any Revived?
Okay, this is the thing. Beauty Revived is only going to work if I get photographers on board. Like, we need good photographers to find good women because they're out there, and that is what I've found when I've approached photographers is they're like, you know what, we want to do this. Like, we've thought about this and we want to do this. Okay, well, go do it because I need your sessions and we want to hear these stories. Yeah. We kind of have an obligation to do it. Because we get to decide whose story is documented, yeah. And this is the way that we can change the way people are talking about beauty. We can make a difference.
Yes, absolutely. That is so true. Well, Michelle, I am just so glad that we met through the internet, which is just so
Right.
crazy. So crazy. And it's just so awesome. I'm just so glad that we met. I'm so glad that you are just pressing on and doing this. And I know that is a lot of added stuff for you, but you have this conviction and you are just plowing through and you're crushing it. And so thank you so much for allowing other photographers like me who really want to think or really want to do good with my camera, but I'm like, what do I do? You know, I have all these other things I'm doing, but how do I do good with my camera? And so thank you for giving us a way to do good with our camera. So remember to go to beautyrevive.com and donate a session to any beautiful woman and tell her story of why this woman is truly beautiful. So anyways, Michelle, thank you so much for coming on to the Snap Society. We really appreciate you sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to join us next week at the Snap Society where everything clicks.